Sunrise, the start of every new day, and the name of our Leopard catamaran. Come and join Russ and Margy as they jump in to their adventure, sailing the world. Welcome back, everybody. This episode we move from Blue Lagoon to the southern end of Yasawa Island. The sail of about 15 nautical miles. We went on the inside. Passage of the reef was a lot of zigzagging, but no problem. And we came into this beautiful, beautiful bay. There was 4 boats made their way up around about the same time of us, and we anchored just off the village. There's a school to the middle of the top screen there and a little village. And then one of the main reasons we came was there was some limestone caves to explore. After anchoring and having an early lunch, we decided to jump into our Hobie kayaks and we paddled along this beautiful coastline. You can see the ruggedness of it, these limestone rocks. It is sharp as sharp as sharp. We had thoughts of climbing up the top of this mountain, but after having a bit of a wander around there, it's completely impenetrable. So we decided to stay down at water level and paddle along. And we were just checking out where we had to come ashore. And you can see here on this photograph, just to the left in the middle, a set of stairs, and that led to the caves. We weren't very sure what to expect with the caves, but one of the other boats had been there before, and they recommend we take goggles, or mask and flippers and a dive torch because it was very dark. So it was a bit of an eerie thought diving in and holding your breath and hoping that the tunnel wasn't too long, but it all turned out great and it was a really wonderful experience. The first cave you enter, the roof of the cave has collapsed over time and it's really spectacular. And you can see Margy getting her gear on here to jump into the water, and all the other boats were in there at the same time, so they were jumping off the rocks and splashing and having a great time. Margy does a very good safety step here. We all gathered at the entrance to one of the caves that was below water, and Brian and Robin from Renegade, who'd been there before, were giving us instructions and showing us how to dive under and where it was. So that was very handy.
There's a Fijian legend about the caves. The story goes that a young chief once safely settled with his betrothed in the cave after her family threatened to marry her off to a rival chief. Every day he would swim into this hidden grotto with food for the girl until eventually they both escaped to the safety of another island and to be together forever. The sacred Sawa Ilau caves are also known as the resting place of the 10-headed ancient Fijian god Ulatini. Even though I was given lots of instructions about how to dive under and come up in the right place, being not a very confident duck diver, I was still quite nervous about this. But there were teenagers doing it, and I kind of thought I better just toughen up. So I gave it a go, and it did all work out okay. Once I'd swum into the second cave, we kept swimming through lots of different caves and exploring them, and then swam back and duck dived under the entrance to come out into the main cave. So it was all very dark, and unfortunately we had torches to sort of see where we were going. But all in all, it felt like quite an achievement to have done that. So I'm glad I did just sort of dive in and get on with it.
After a couple of hours of exploring through the different caves and tunnels and swim-throughs, we came back out into the sunshine and got in our Hobie kayaks and paddled along the coast of the island. And you can see there's just hundreds of these little bays and little beaches and very architectural type rock formations. So it's kind of tailor-made for an idiot like me to act my age, I guess. You probably all know that Margy loves bird watching, and on this occasion she spotted quite a rare bird from France had made his way over here. I'm not sure what the correct name for his species is, but he certainly was weird. Hola! How are you? The next morning we paddled into the local village to do sevusevu, which is the offering of a gift of kava to the local chief, and they have a little ceremony. So we came ashore here, and they took us for a guide around the village and showed us a few of the stuff they use, and then we had the ceremony with the chief.
Yeah, it's good.
Very good. Oh, it's the bud. You got the bud.
Yeah. Yeah. Russ. Margy.
Sevusevu, fenomena rotary na bangsa Wynns.
After the ceremony, we walked down the beach a little further to where the nurses' station was and the local school. So we had some Days for Girl charity bags to hand out to the local nurse, and we had a whole pile of school books, reading books and picture books for the local school to give out. They were donated by a charity in New Zealand.
So yeah, this is my catchment area. Total population that I'm looking after is 273.
What does CBA stand for?
Childbearing age.
Ah!
That's very good. Yeah.
Oh, okay, you got quite a lot. Yeah, very nice, isn't it?
Yeah, quite an experience. Yeah.
Setting up something new.
Yeah. The whole together.
And the building, how old is the building?
About 7 years.
And did they have a notice before you?
No, they built it and they've been just waiting for it to come out. Yeah.
They waited 7 years.
They do
Worth
it
waiting
themselves.
for.
So I guess that's the distancing travel.
Yeah. Working hard. New roof. Where did you get the reeds? In the bush, on the other island. Oh, over there. Ooh. Thank you. How do you trim the bottom off? How do you cut the... Ah, the knife. Hello. You helping? After a stunning week in the Yasawa Island and the caves, we got news that our new dive camera had arrived in Denarau Marina. So we made our way back. We had a beautiful breeze, and I think we were sailing along at somewhere between 8 and 10 knots. So we were back in 10 hours or 11 hours, something like that. JP took this photo of our boat. So yeah, you can see there we're doing 10 knots at that stage. It was a really beautiful sail back, and we got back into the marina for I think 1 or 2 days. Got our dive camera that had arrived, and repositioned, got a bit more fuel, in readiness to make our way around the north of the main island and heading over to the Lao group. You sure do get some beautiful sunsets in Fiji. We shouted ourselves a 60th birthday present each. Lashed out and bought a Nauticam underwater housing with 2 video lights, and we've also bought what is it, a Sony Rx 100 Mark V. Now that tiny little thing is incredible, so we're told. So we're looking forward to our photos from our new skill of scubaing. We have all our scuba gear. Now we have beautiful camera and housing and lights. So all I can say is lights, camera, action. So here's a few of our first photographs with our new dive camera. Still learning a lot about it and playing around with it, but this was diving on Dreammaker Reef, which is up around the north of the main island. So back and enjoy. It was really beautiful. Wish I was better at underwater photography. I'm sure I'll get there.